What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley. Hope you all are staying positive and cool out there. I'm coming at you guys today with a review of The Soccer Moms. The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5, Episode 14. I believe that's what it was. The name of this episode, I completely forgot. It's right here in my notes. Oh, hats off and shades on. Y'all, I apologize for my low energy, but this episode was so boring. Oh my god. I think this was just mainly an episode to kind of set up and segue into the cash trip to Portugal. That's really what I got from this episode. It wasn't a whole lot going on, y'all. I almost fell asleep. So, again, I apologize for my low energy, but let's get into it. We started this episode. At first, they show a montage of the ladies, and they also show Wendy trying to get people to vote and nobody answering the phone. And that reminds me of, are y'all getting these political text messages? I'm down here in Texas, and I keep getting a text message about Lizzie Fletcher is against abortion. Did you know this? And I'm every single day. There's just no way to escape it. How are they getting to our phones and sending us these messages? Is it when we register to vote, they automatically have our phone number and they just send us smear campaigns via text these days? But anyways, we see Candace. She's in her living room taking voice lessons from another gay BFF from Howard University. And my thing with Candace is, you had all this to say about the gays back when you were, 25? Fresh out of college? And the only friends we see that you bring on this show are gay men. So, I'm starting to side-eye you a little bit, Candace. We are not accessories. She basically talks about her goals working under Chucky Thompson and that she's ready to get her remix of that one wedding song that she sung out. So we then go and we see Giselle and Robin. They go to this very cute restaurant. It was a little tea party restaurant. Honestly, I know my man, but I like really cutesy, girly stuff. So that restaurant was just that's a place that I want to visit. I hope we have places like that down here in Houston. Someplace I can go whenever the pandemic is over. But they basically talk about Karen spilling her own tea about the fact that she bailed Ray out of his tax problems. And then Karen shows up in this little cute shimmery suit. And then she sits down and then Robin says that she wants all the ladies except for Monique, because Monique is on timeout for whatever reason now. But she wants all the ladies to come by and model her hats so she could put up more pictures of other people rocking her stuff and not just her. So then the ladies, we see Karen, she reveals that she was sent a text about Robin's tax issues, and then Robin kind of just goes into the spiel that she just wasn't paying enough money like she was supposed to. Basically, I feel like she just wasn't claiming her checks from the Real Housewives of Potomac. That's really what it was, and they caught her ass. So then Giselle reveals that Wendy told her about what Karen said about how she paid Ray's taxes, and Karen kind of spilled the tea to the ladies back when they were on that lake house trip when she was drunk, and also revealing that she wants her money back, which I feel like she does. If you're giving money to a dude that you're with that's ungrateful about it, of course I want my money back. But Karen sits there and lies and says she denies saying that. I'm like, girl, you were on footage. You said it, but whatever. And then she reveals that she basically called Wendy ignorant when she came down to confront her when she was arguing with Candace. And basically gets into the fact that she's not afraid of Wendy and she can take her on, degrees or no degrees. So then we just see Wendy. She has a cute scene with her kids. Who really cares? And then we go to see Ashley, and she goes to therapy. And basically, it just reiterates the fact that she has postpartum depression. She doesn't feel like herself. She feels more of a utility to Dean. Mainly because, it's a brand new baby. She's still breastfeeding. And she just feels like her body is reserved to Dean and not really there to be of service to Michael. And Michael, for this old man, he's 100 years old, still has this thriving sex drive, and she's just not able to meet his needs, and she doesn't really feel sexy. She's not feeling herself. Basically, she still has postpartum, even though she kind of seemed like she was making progress with it. Those feelings are still there, and it's probably going to be like that for a while. I'm not a woman, never had a baby, but I could imagine that you would not feel 100% the same after having a kid. That's damn near a like a near-death experience having a kid. So Ashley, just take your time to heal, girl. And then she also gets the idea that she needs to go away on a girls' trip so she can kind of like reconnect to herself and get back to the old Ashley before she had a baby. So we then see Candace. She goes to see Chucky Thompson, and she hears the live recording of her song, and she's in love with it. And then after they play the song, Chucky reveals that he wants to sign her, and then she starts to cry because being signed, like she was in a girl group back in, I want to say middle school, high school, and she was like really close to getting signed, and they almost went through with it. But however, her parents, who were very smart, took that contract that they were about to sign to an entertainment lawyer, and then they ended up like not taking the deal because it was a bad contract. And I'm like, what is up with these bad contracts in music? Like, is there really, like, as an artist, is there any money to be made in the music industry at this point? Like, unless you're, like, really writing and mainly possibly producing your own beats, like, and then touring, like, where is the money coming from when you sign under these labels? Like, you sign under these labels and you think that you're getting a free ride and they're giving you these $1 million deals, but really, I think you just have to pay all that back, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like literally an indentured servant at this point. And then they end up popping bottles and kind of celebrating the fact, but I'm just like, Candace, are you going to read the contract he gives you? Like, this is the second time this is going to happen, girl. Like, be prepared like you were last time. So we then see Monique. She's in her kitchen basically doing like housewife chores, and she kind of talks about, it's mainly her talking in her confessional while she's scrambling around trying to get the kids together for school. Chris is really no help at all. And then she kind of talks about how the fact that like she's annoyed that Candace sued her, and this whole entire situation is just being dragged out, and she's just so sick of hearing about it and wants to get over with. Trust me, you and me both, Monique, because this storyline is starting to get stale like day old bread. So we then see Giselle in her wolf pussy ponytail. She's at her shitty, poorly furnished house, and Ashley arrives with Dean, and she's basically there to kind of see the progress that Giselle has made on her house. She's in there. I noticed that she has the same couch that I was about to get for my place. I think that couch was only about like $300, but whatever. So then they basically kind of talk about their men, and then, you know, Ashley proceeds to take her titty out to breastfeed. And then Ashley reveals that she wants to go on a girls' trip with everybody just so she can, like, reconnect to the old Ashley, get back to her old self. And then Giselle is cool with it as long as Monique isn't coming. And then Ashley has a problem with that. She's like, Monique is my friend. Like, it would feel weird if I just did not invite her at all. And then Giselle's like, well, if you invite her, I'm not going to want to go. Robin's not going to go. Wendy's not going to want to go. And Candace for sure isn't going. So this is just going to be a two-for-one trip for you two if you invite Monique. And they're starting to make me side with Monique again. Like, I don't know the timeline they're in. This is probably like at least 2 or like at least a month after that fight happened. But them being constantly against Monique is making me be on Monique's side once again. And then Candace, the way she is starting to revert back into that little prepubescent child that she acts on the inside, like that's really getting me to want to be not on Team Monique, but I'm starting to have sympathy for Monique, if that makes sense. So in the next scene, the girls, they all show up to Robin's photo shoot. Robin and Giselle kind of like tell Wendy that Karen was making fun of her in the previous scene. And then Wendy is like, oh, okay. And she was mainly offended by the whole entire, like, Karen saying, I don't care what degrees you have. Like, you're still ignorant at the end of the day. So then Karen and Ashley arrive, and then, like, Karen says hi. Wendy completely ignores her. They do a photo shoot, and then they step back inside, and then Ashley reveals that they are going to Portugal. Like, she waved out a flag, and then, like, nobody could tell where they were going. They're like, Candace, I believe, said, like, is that China? And I'm just like, girl, no. But she reveals they're going to Portugal, and the girls are all excited. They get up and dance and yada, yada, yada. And then after that happens, Wendy actually proceeds to call out Karen. And then Wendy argues that she's not one to brag about her degrees, but then she proceeds to brag about her degrees. And then Karen kind of reads Wendy's ass for filth. Like, Wendy was basically like, kind of like saying like, oh, not everybody has a PhD. Not a lot of black women have PhDs. And kind of just like talking her shit about the fact that like, oh, I have degrees and you don't. And then Karen gets her ass together. She's like, okay, well, that doesn't matter. The one thing that I was blessed with was common sense. And that's one thing that you basically do not have, Wendy. Like, I've been gifted with the spirit of success through entrepreneurship and also basically this show. But she's basically like saying like, I was able to succeed in life without a degree. So degrees basically don't matter. And honestly, y'all, they don't. Like, I got a bachelor's degree. What job do I have? I'm going for an MBA. Can't even get an internship. Low key, I might put it into that shit. But degrees don't matter, y'all. And seeing Wendy constantly brag and argue about these degrees is just irritating me at this point. Like, I feel like the world we live in today, we are shifting towards like, what is your skill set? Like, what can you do? Like, I think the days of relying on a company are coming to an end. Everybody's going bankrupt. Like, a lot of people are like messed over by this COVID situation. But like, Wendy constantly bragging about her degrees. It didn't annoy me at first because at first I was like, okay, cool, talk your shit. But now I'm just like, she's an elitist at this point. And she's getting on my nerves. And I honestly do not even care if she comes back at this point, y'all. But we then, Karen then proceeds to once again mock Wendy's walk, which was absolutely hilarious. And they all do the duck walk and walk on out the door. And then we have a cut scene to where it is revealed that Monique countersued Candace. Candace is absolute pissed. She is ranting to Chris, proceeds to calling her and her friends a hood rat. And again with the elitism, I'm starting to see why Candace and Wendy are friends. Like, they're like Funky Dineva says, they're black like this, not like this. Like, Candace just annoyed me in this scene. And honestly, they're going to both end up dropping the lawsuits because the judge is going to be like, this is some bullshit, basically. So it really doesn't matter how mad she is. Like, you two are going to like get out of litigation because probably like Candace really couldn't afford it, to be honest. And then Chris ends up calming her down, and that's basically the end of the episode. I give this episode a 3 out of 10. It was so boring. Like, I really tried to give y'all a little something, especially because I was a little absent this week, but this episode gave me absolutely nothing. Like, next week's episode is going to be good, though, because they're going to be lit on the cash trip. I can't wait to see that. But this was a filler episode, like the definition of filler. Like, I did not enjoy it at all. Like, usually when I watch this show, like, I'm glued to the TV, but I was playing in my phone the entire time, getting up, doing push-ups, fucking crunches. Like, I was not focused on this episode at all this week. But those are my views. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to come at you guys with some more content. Even though the topics are still old, I want to talk about Nene Leakes, Wendy Williams, and Tamar. Like, the three aunties that are just problematic and can't seem to go away and get their shit together. But those are my views. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to come at you guys with some more content.